Despite League's lore being frozen, and despite the fact that the MMO got delayed, which actually led to a bit of a fall in the interest of League's universe, and despite Legends of Runeterra being in a battle for its own future, from all the games handling Riot's IP, this is the one game that still keeps pushing League's lore forward. And the newest expansion is still just another proof of that. In a previous video, we already talked about Jaro Lightfeather as well as Lux and a little bit of Lilia for context. Which means that we didn't get to talk about Vex, who got a whole new story that is focusing on Vex's birthday. And it even includes some characters you may remember from past stories. But also, this expansion has some great new variety cards. So first, let's have a look at what the new story for Vex is about, and then let's quickly get depressed about the fact that the MMO got delayed. So, this story begins with a yordle you may have seen before, Uncle Milty, who is trying to show Vex how beautiful life can be. As a result, nothing changed and Vex hates Uncle Milty even more. In fact, if you don't remember, Vex had an entire short story with Uncle Milty, where she essentially gave her uncle existential crisis. His ever so positive heart just couldn't handle Vex's negativity. And what's awesome is that this is already referenced in a separate card. Anyway, since Uncle Milty wants to cheer Vex up, he decided to visit her and read her a story. Though he's certainly very different from his gloomy niece, Uncle Milty always does his best to connect with her, especially if it is through a spooky story told by candlelight. And unfortunately, as you can see, the story is so boring it makes Vex fall asleep. Which is where we travel to Vex's dream. Inside the dream, the story starts with a new yordle friend. I know it is a bit of an oxymoron. Her name is Ale and she really just wants to be Vex's friend. And so, naturally, she threw a birthday party for her. Even though, as it is teased, it is not even Vex's birthday. V, wait! I have something for you! It's an invitation to your very own birthday party. And your gift is a little early. I couldn't wait. Aren't you excited? We need to talk about what to wear and the cake and... V? So yes, not only did she have the invitation, but also she brought her a gift, which is this green teddy bear, and remember that one because it will make a comeback. Also, here's a closer look at the invitation card, because it will appear again in just a moment. But here, Vex's quote simply says, "It is still not my birthday." After which the story continues in Vex's card. Ah, stupid pink girl. I already told her I hate parties, especially when there's cake. Gross. Wake me up when she goes away. And here you can see Shadow ripping all the invitations and the posters. But shortly after this, Vex also gets to meet Grim. If you look at the background, you can see that we are still in the same place. Dark, romantic, tortured poet. A connoisseur of all things philosophical. Grim isn't afraid of a little gloom and doom. The subject of his affections is known to be a touch prickly, but that only makes her all the more lovable in his eyes. So yes, Grim is a yordle with feelings towards Vex, which I am sure Vex doesn't care about at all. But then, despite her hatred for parties, she goes to the party anyway, which is what we can see in her level 2. But this is also where something interesting happens. If you look at the yordles at the party, everyone looks kinda possessed. It almost looks like all of them are evil. And yes, that includes some familiar faces such as Teemo or Tristana. But what's likely happening here is that this is just what Vex sees. This is what a party looks like from the perspective of someone who hates parties. However, it is possible that this is also a corrupted dream. Because even Bandle City is affected by the corrupted dreams from Lilia's story. For example, this would tie to the Gloom sprites. Dreams have a funny way of changing the sprites. These ones seem to be, oh, is that cake? The quote of Lilia. So yes, yordles prepared a cake for Vex, but in this dream it was destroyed by a bunch of sprites. Now in case you haven't seen the previous video where we explained this, These sprites enter dreams that are corrupted to guide the dreamers through the dreams. And in this case, the sprites entered Vex's dream to help her here. But they themselves got corrupted in the process. So yes, it is possible that this is actually a corrupted dream. In a similar way how everything around Lux looked scary. But I still like to think that this is simply how Vex sees parties. It is just so much funnier to see it through the eyes of an introvert. Alright, hold on, this is me from the future. I actually went back and looked at Vex's level up animation and I noticed something strange. The story we are explaining here is as it is, but the chronology might be slightly different. You see, in the level up animation, she is in her level 1 phase, which is where she got the invitation to her party, and then she falls asleep, she falls off the branch, and she drops into her nightmare. Now, on one side, this confirms that unfortunately that's not the vision of an introvert. Instead, it is really a nightmare. But also, if she just fell asleep on the branch after which she fell down, poor uncle. It seems like that entire card is irrelevant, because that's not how she fell asleep now. So yeah, I just noticed this. It is possible that the level up animation is irrelevant to the story. I mean, you could already find some inconsistencies in the Lilia cards, where she has human torso in one card and then she's a furry in another card. But I still like to think that it was her uncle who actually made her fall asleep. Though now, it is possible she got her invitation first, then she fell asleep and then she dropped into the nightmare. So yeah, that was me from the future. Now, back to the past. But don't worry, this wasn't the only cake that was prepared. There was another one. And the beefcake mayor happened to jump out of it as a surprise. Time slowed down as the weirdly muscular mayor burst out of the impossibly tall cake. "A very happy birthday," the mayor said with a flex. "From Bandel's best and buffest elected official." Out of all her dreams, Vex hated this one the most. Again, all of this confirms that this is happening in Vex's dream. And at this point, Vex was done. So she decided to shut down the party. Which is what happens in Shadow's card. Yeah, show them, Shadow! No presents, no confetti, and especially no party hats. And so, Shadow ruined the entire party, after which we can see the outcome in the beautiful disaster. He climbed the steps to the stage, poem clutched in hand. He didn't put up any posters advertising his performance, because he already had the only audience he wanted. "Oh, valiant sufferer, kindred of my spirit, beloved of my soul, long have I awaited this night." And as you can see, Vex is absolutely delighted to hear this performance. So, in the end, it seems like this celebration was just one massive disaster. But it does have a happy ending for Vex. Because after she inspects the gift from Ale, you can see it wasn't a cute teddy bear, but rather it was some kind of monstrosity. And unfortunately, this is where the story ends and we don't get to learn about this. It could be just a thoughtful gift from Ale, so this would be really what she gave her as a present. Or, because this is Vex's dream, this could be just Vex imagining the gift she would like to get. Or, it is also definitely possible that all of this is tied to whatever demon is twisting all the dreams. All of these are possible right now, and we simply don't know which one of these is the case. What we do know is that according to the family reunions, Vex hates parties and she prefers to stay alone. And you know what's the twist behind all of this? You know how Grim turned emo so he would be closer to Vex? Well, it turns out he's faking it.
Gigi! We still going thrifting tomorrow?
Dude, not so loud! Vex can't know we hang out.
So, while this is where Vex's story ends for now, as I mentioned, this expansion has a lot of great variety cards. So, let's quickly blitz through what we got. One of the cooler ones is Draven's greatest fan. He's back, and after watching a lot of Draven in the arena, he started collecting some victories in the arena himself. So it is great to see this kind of character development. There is also the Candlelit Prayer, which shows us one of the temples to Jaina hidden underneath Zaun. We also have another badass image of Azir leading his armies, nothing special to mention here, but he did also get a new mage who calls herself the Empire Reconstructor, who simply travels around and restores all the ruins. Notably, Piltover also has a new kind of Astaya, the Soaring Cartographer, who obviously has the job of drawing maps. We also got a new ability for present-day Yone, which could be a teaser for the fact that he's also getting his own champion card. Shurima also got a set of jars related to the God Warriors. Specifically, these are referencing Nasus, Renekton, Azir, and I guess Zerath. Noxus got a Yeti handler, which made me depressed because the MMO got delayed, but it's still not as sad as the Iron Conquest. This one looks amazing. And normally I would say, I can't wait to see this in the MMO. And lastly, there is one more card that I really wanted to bring up. And that is the Poro Parade. A parade of just about every Poro imaginable, although there is also the Ultra Soft Poro. And what is absolutely amazing about this one is that we got to see what it looks like when it is wet.